Welcome to Wicked Gingerbread. On this episode, I'm trying to show like different methods of making your life easier. So today I'm going to show you two sheet pan recipes. The first one is going to be a breakfast, simple hash browns. I've already cooked some bacon, whatever breakfast meat of your choice is. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a bag of, this is Whole Foods hash browns. It is a pound, 16. I'm also taking some onion, and we're just going to dump it on the sheet pan. Kind of spread it out. Take your onion, same thing with that, just kind of mix it in. Probably about a cup of onion. However, whatever your preference is, if you like onion a lot. And then I'm going to put some garlic powder. Pepper. And some Himalayan coarse salt. So you want to preheat your oven to 425. This is going to go in for 20 minutes. Just keep your eye on it. Make sure it doesn't get too dark. And then once it bakes for 20 minutes, you could use, I don't use real eggs. I'm going to put some egg whites here and there to make it an egg dish. And then I'm going to cook that for another 15. You could put whole eggs. You just make like little nests. Probably take about 5 or 6 eggs. And then, if that's not enough, I'm going to sprinkle it with some cheese and chives. So check back. So these roasted for about 20 minutes. I've picked out any of the spots that got too dark. And then this is where you'll want to crack 5 to 6 eggs. I'm going to try it with egg whites. Now that was at 425. You want to crank your oven back down to like 375. And this is going to cook for 12 to 15 minutes. You just want to make little wells. Trying to get 5 or 6 servings out of this. Okay, back into the oven for about 15 minutes. Okay, so because I used egg white, you can see where it kind of is in chunks. So the last part that you want to do, with the oven still on 375, the eggs went about 12 minutes. I'm just using a 4 cheese light Mexican cheese. You could also use like a reduced fat cheddar. And I am just going to put this all over, about half a cup. And I think I'm going to get about 4 servings out of this. And then you'll want to just put it back in the oven for just maybe 2 or 3 minutes, just so the cheese will melt a little. So this is the sheet pan. It doesn't look that pretty, but it was really easy to throw together. This is the hash brown, an egg mixture with the cheese. So I would serve it alongside your breakfast sausage or bacon, and then a little bit of fruit. A little bit of crispy bacon. There is your hash brown, eggy, sheet pan. Throw it in, forget about it. Give it a try for breakfast. I have 3 items that I'm going to have for dinner tonight. I'm going to show you how to make chicken Milanese, just kind of a breaded chicken with panko, potatoes, and asparagus. Now with a one sheet pan meal, your chicken, and if you get medium to small potatoes, They're both going to bake for about 20 minutes. The potatoes might take a little bit longer, so feel free to put the potatoes on by themselves for about 7 to 10 minutes. And then the chicken is going to bake 10 minutes on each side. So that's 20 minutes. So I figured the potatoes might take about a half hour. So you get the idea. I'm also going to bake asparagus. So you could also, the last 10 minutes of baking, throw the asparagus on that same pan. So you'll have a whole meal in the oven. Now, I do have to tell you one thing. Normally, I would do all of this on the sheet pan as I just suggested. But because I'm new to my Instant Pot, I'm going to do the vegetables in the Instant Pot while my chicken is baking. I just want to try it out and try to learn the timing of these vegetables. That way I don't have to focus on checking them. You pretty much know it's a set time. So I'm going to show you what I'm doing with the Instant Pot first. Now, one thing about asparagus, I have about 2 pounds of asparagus here. I'm going to just use half of it for tonight's meal, make about 4 portions. The one nice thing about asparagus in the Instant Pot, it only takes 2 minutes and it's like buttery and fork tender. Okay, so I have the Duo Crisp air fryer Instant Pot, but I'm just going to use this as a regular Instant Pot. So the first thing that you want to do, it's empty right now, you just want to make sure that you have the stainless steel liner in there. You need a minimum of 1 cup of water. So I'm going to go ahead and put just a nice cup of water in there. And I would highly recommend that you get a steamer basket. I like this one, you know, you can find these on Amazon. I like that this has feet at the bottom, so it's up out of the water and it has a handle. So I'm gonna go ahead and put that in. And I've already washed my potatoes. I'm just using medium-sized red organic potatoes. Go ahead and throw those in. Okay. Okay. Close the lid to seal it. I'm gonna go ahead and do pressure cook. And you want to adjust the time. So I'm going to do this for 20 minutes. On high, and then just press start. And then after the potatoes, you could use asparagus or green beans, but after the potatoes are done, I'll pull those out, put new water in, and then I'm just going to throw this also in that same basket after I rinse it out for 2 minutes. So this would probably be better if I had fresh chicken. All I have right now is frozen. So what we're going to do, I have some egg whites in here for dipping. I have panko. Just going to fill up a little dipping bowl with that. In the panko, I'm going to put, you could use fresh parsley. I just have dried, so that's what I'm going to use. Dried parsley. And I'm going to use the zest of a lemon. Just the zest. When I actually cook the asparagus in the Instant Pot, I'm going to use the lemons, put the lemons on top of there and make like a salted lemon pepper asparagus. So when you're thinking of things to pair together, you know, try to keep with the same flavor profiles. Same thing with a potato, I'm probably just going to do some salt and pepper, maybe a little light sour cream. Just something very simple. And it's good to roll your lemon, kind of get the juices going. Okay, and then I'm going to zest that right into the panko. The whole lemon. And another thing that I'm going to use a nice quality Dijon. And I'm going to put some of that on the chicken. And then I'm going to put a little bit in the egg wash also. Okay, and give this a little mix. And then same thing with the egg. Just kind of incorporate that mustard a little. Okay, and I have a bowl that I'm going to put them in. So I'm just going to kind of massage the mustard on there a little bit. Dip it in the egg. Now I'm just using egg whites, but certainly you could use 3 or 4 eggs. And then just lightly coat it with the panko. Okay, and then go to number 2. So at this point you would have already baked your potatoes, depending on the size, for 7 to 10 minutes. So I'm going to bake this for 10 minutes and then flip them over. So I did want to mention, if you do use frozen chicken like I do, it is going to take a lot longer. So this chicken, I flipped it once. It's been in for about 20 minutes and I'm still going to let it go for about another 10. And this wasn't part of the original recipe, but I got this crazy idea while it was baking. I want to put just a little bit of shredded Parmesan cheese on each one. I think that'll, and then I'm going to bake it, the other 10 minutes. I think that's going to give it a little bit more flavor, creaminess. And you don't want to put this, the Parmesan cheese on until it's only got about 10 or 15 minutes left, because it will tend to burn a little bit. Okay, so if you were using fresh, you would probably be done. It would probably be 20 minutes. If you're using frozen like I did, probably a half hour. You want to just take the thickest one and then cut it and just make sure that it's not pink inside. And I can smell the Dijon mustard, so I'm probably going to pair this with a little dipping of Dijon mustard. Back in for 10 minutes. And let's go ahead and check on our potatoes while we're here. It's already finished 20 minutes. And in case you're not familiar with an Instant Pot, maybe you just got one as well. The L means that it's actually been, it counts up. That's how long it's been since it finished. So I let it, what's called natural release. It's where you just let it naturally depressurize on its own. So it's been about 12 minutes. So the total time for these potatoes at this point, because it still was pressurized even after it's done cooking, is 32 minutes. So let's take a look. I'm going to depressurize now. And to depressurize, I'm just going to see how that little pin is up. If I push this button, it'll make the steam come out. And once the pin is down, then all the pressure is gone and I can open the lid, but not until that pin drops. This is called a quick release. So I let it natural release for 12 minutes, and now I'm doing a quick release. I'm thinking that potatoes and brown rice both are in the 20 minute range. So just keep that in mind. The good thing is with putting it in the Instant Pot, you can just go do whatever it is you'd like to do. There, the pin just dropped. Okay, so now I can open this up. And the great thing too is these the sides of the lid fit in here. So there's the potatoes. They look pretty good. Let me see. Oh yes, they're very fork tender. Very nice. Also a good idea to invest in these little, something, because this is going to be hot. So even though it has a handle, I'm going to go ahead and put this in. And I have my asparagus all ready to go. And I chopped like an inch off the bottom. And I'm just going to lay this in here. And I sliced up those lemons. So I'm just going to lay that on top so it all kind of infuses. And then I'll finish up with some salt and pepper. Okay, and then you'll just close the Instant Pot again. Okay, and for this I'm going to do pressure cook again. Got to cancel, it was still counting down from before. So pressure cook, and it does remember the last thing that you pressure cooked, so you have to adjust the time. So I'm going to just do 2 minutes. I know it sounds crazy, just 2 minutes with asparagus, and then make sure you press start. Now because everything's still kind of warm, it should come up to pressure, as they say, a little bit quicker. But we should have a full-on dinner in about 5 minutes when the chicken's done. And the asparagus, you'll never want to have asparagus again once you cook it in the Instant Pot. So here it's like fork tender, it almost falls apart. And it was cooked with lemon, so it's going to have that flavor. Okay, and then add the potatoes. You want that size? Yeah. Okay. And it's fork tender potato. So then you want to just finish it off with some pink Himalayan salt, a little bit of pepper. And I have a little Dijon mustard dipping sauce for the chicken. And I'll probably have some sour cream on here. So this was one of the easiest meals ever, but it looks like a restaurant. So thank you for joining me for this sheet pan / Instant Pot meal. Comment down below if you want some more Instant Pot or sheet pan recipes. And as always, thank you for tuning in. Have a good week.
I'm a OG boy. Know that they ride or die. I keep boys by my side. Know that they ride or die. I keep boys by my side. OG boy. Day we hustle, but the night we OG boy. Know that they ride or die.